Right, so working our way through the conclusion, if you go back to this page here, you remember there are 3 paragraphs. So the second paragraph, we need a statement that demonstrates understanding of sampling variability. Here we use the median outside the box rule again, in conjunction with a statement on sampling variability. Depends on how close the median is to the edge quartiles of the opposite box. So the different situations are given here. So after we make an inference about whether there's a significant difference or not, we need to discuss what we think would happen if we took another sample of each. Is it likely we would make the same conclusion, or is there some doubt about that? Hopefully your teacher has shown you the animation with this link here to explain about how different samples will give different statistics. Now there are 2 cases really, and just an example, another example of this first case. So clearly with this example where the medians are well outside, this one in particular is well outside the box of the other, and I will have already claimed that the heights of Year 12 boys are taller than the heights of Year 12 girls back in the population in my first paragraph. The second paragraph here now talks about if I was to take another sample of Year 12 boys' heights and Year 12 girls' heights from the population, then due to sampling variability, it is unlikely that I would change my decision, because the median height for Year 12 boys is far outside the box of the Year 12 girls. You could pause and read this slower in your own time. Small samples can be very variable, and with different samples the medians and quartiles and other summary statistics will be different. The boxes will sit in different places. However, with this example here, I don't think it likely that both medians will be inside each other's boxes, so I won't be changing my decision. So, because what would have to happen for us to claim that there is no significant difference and change the decision we've just made, then both medians would have to move inside each other's boxes. It seems fairly unlikely based on these particular samples. In the same conclusion, or the same paragraph too, we would use for the situation where both medians are comfortably inside each other's boxes. So in that situation, I will have claimed that there is no significant difference back in the population because the medians are comfortably inside each other's boxes. And it seems fair to be able to say that if we took another sample from A and another sample of B, that I would get a similar situation of the medians being inside each other's boxes and making the same conclusion. So we'd be using a similar paragraph here, but obviously our decision would have been that there is no significant difference. And taking another sample of each would probably stay with that conclusion. An alternative to that is down here with this third example, where one of the medians perhaps is not well outside the box of the other, and one of the medians is inside. It could even be even closer than this example here. And then what we might need to consider, and you can read this paragraph, is that if I was to take another sample of Year 9 girls' heights, I might find that the median actually is back this way. It might be that the Year 9 boys' median moves slightly, their upper quartile moves slightly, and then I have the situation where both medians are inside and I would need to change my original decision. So really, it's about looking at the medians in the boxes, considering how far away the medians are from the edge of the other boxes, and whether taking different samples with different statistics would mean you make the same conclusion you've just made in paragraph 1. So you could pause now and read this example. In the second example, of course, the tricky one, even more so than the example we've just looked at down here, is when one of the medians is on the edge of the box, the upper quartile. And clearly, taking another sample, that median could move slightly inside, or it could move slightly outside, and we would make different conclusions. So you could pause now and read this. And then what we'll do is we'll go back and look at our exemplar from the weights, but clearly both medians are the same actually, but they are both comfortably inside each other's boxes. So taking another sample of All Blacks and looking at their weights, or another sample of Australians and looking at their weights, we'd probably be making the same conclusion, that there's no real difference, no significant difference in their weights. So if we go back, paragraph 2, and what we'll do is we'll go back, so it's probably situation 1 where we're not going to change what we've said. So if we copy the wording from here, let's go back to our example. And reword it. Let's get rid of that. To make another sample of So just have a wee read of that one. So just make sure that you've emphasised that it's not about the fact that the medians are the same or similar or close to each other. The reason is the fact that they lie within each other's boxes, or one is outside the other box. That is the rule that we need to quote and emphasise, that we understand that it's about whether the medians are inside each other's boxes or not.